typically do cornrows, big chunky braids. Yeah. So I just
So
tell.
this is a big chunky braid.
Yeah, two, just two.
Okay, by each you mean like each row?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, women are wala.
If I could, I would cut my hair.
I don't see that.
But you could now. You just want to look young, right? I'm sure that's
I
the
don't
thing.
want to look like insignificant, infinitesimal. Like, where are you? Who are you? I mean, I already look.
He's from Madagascar, right? Down it.
Only with my hands. I agree with the man underrating Yoruba food. We don't have rich in nature soup, but I disagree with him eating egusi soup or pounded yam.
You talk rice.
No, I guess what the person. That person is Yoruba, right? Yeah, he or she is saying that, you know what, I agree in terms of like the lack of creativity, but she doesn't agree or he doesn't agree.
Lack of creativity is such a mean way to put it.
Yeah. As you know, I'm just the honest
Creativity
guy.
is variation.
No, I'm trying to think about it. She would agree. The problem is that alliances to her tribe is too strong. But in her private time, I'm just thinking about it. Like, actually, they are right, you know, but she cannot say that publicly. I understand you, Sean. I get it.
No, I'm trying to maintain neutrality as a.
How can that be neutrality now? No, neutrality is to say it's actually true.
No, that neutrality is to.
Neutrality is what this lady or this guy. What's the person's name, by the way? Is it Yoruba name? Let me know.
Okay then. While you're here, I just want to tell you a little story.
I'm tired of you,
My
Oris.
daddy used to tell me it was
Just give me this more.
I was born probably about 68 years ago over by that tree over there, yeah. And I remember things changed a lot. In those days in Madagascar, it wasn't so commercial, you know? It wasn't all
So we're
about
going back on
money
the
and
show.
who got the latest tree.
She wants to hear you, and we'll cook her for.
We're coming live.
You know, those days it was just me and a couple of the others, you know, doing the jungle boogie, you know.
I wonder how that song actually made it to that animation. I like to move it. Did you remember how you've watched it, right?
I have, yes.
Penguins of
That's
Madagascar.
that particular scene is a very popular scene.
Yeah, iconic.
That's the word.
All right, you're watching. No, you're not watching. You're
You're watching
listening.
Madagascar.
Now, the aim of playing that soundtrack was actually just to ward off all the energy that was burnt on by the food debate. But now I'm not even sure where the energy is taking me to. Anyways, you can watch us on YouTube, by the way. youtube.com/smooth91 FM Lagos. Again, youtube.com/smooth91 FM Lagos. We're streaming live. You can give us a shout out while there, or just say hi. We will see you in the chat option. Or you can drop your comment on WhatsApp, which is 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. And I saw John Ad's message saying that he agrees with the man underrating Yoruba food, that it is not so rich in nature soup, but he disagrees with him eating egusi soup on pounded yam. Anyways, we're back to movies, not food now. It's not food focus, it is film focus. So here again, like I mentioned, if you're joining us for the first time, we've got different segments. For instance, we'll start with what have you been watching, which will get Oris telling us what he has been watching, and then we move to trailers. We move to the movie news, reviews, and other things, especially the recommendation, which is what we'll finish it off with. But this morning we've got a special guest who is a film producer and director. His name is Osezua, and I am trying to stay away from calling the first name so that I do not, murder it. Exactly. Eliminate literally. All right, so starting with Oris, what have you been watching?
This was a particularly, I don't know what is intense film watching week for me.
Whoa, what happened?
Yeah, over the past weekend, I saw all of the buzzing films in one day. So I saw Barbie, I saw Oppenheimer, and I saw Mission Impossible 7, I think.
Whoa.
In like space of like a 10-hour, 9-hour, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I spent like the entire that was Saturday, I think. I spent the entire Saturday at the cinemas actually, so that was quite an experience. Then after that, I saw Yahoo Plus, which is I think #1 on Netflix at the moment. I also saw. I finally finished Fatal Seduction, the South African series
Oh, I
on
see.
on Netflix. Then I saw a bunch of movies actually. There's the last one I can't remember now. Oh yes, they cloned Tyrone.
Ah, okay. You
I
know
saw
what?
that as
It's
well.
actually part of what we're going to be reviewing. But first, let's take it one step at a time. Barbie, I know Irabo gave his own take on it last week. What's your take on Barbie? Especially considering the success at the box office. It has crossed $500 million. That
Wow,
is,
that's globally, right? Yeah.
yeah, globally. And then, of course, it makes history with that number for Greta Gerwig, who she is the first,
Female director.
yeah, to have that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent movie to be honest. I think this probably says it's something about these big corporations using artistically, what's the word? Artistically, I don't know if it's advanced, but yeah, critically acclaimed directors rather than like the popular
Mm.
directors to like front their movies. So I think one of the last time something like this happened was with 2008 with the Batman movies. DC Batman, and it was directed by the guy who did Oppenheimer. What's his name?
Yeah,
Christopher Nolan.
Nolan.
Exactly, and that was like a
He
big,
also made
a
record for
lot.
himself.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes, a whole lot of money at the time. So I think there's something to be said for that, which is not the same case for what's this film? Marvel, not Marvel, the Eternals, which also
Oh.
had like a popular, rather a critically acclaimed director, Chloe Zhao, directing it, but I don't think it was as successful as these two movies I've just mentioned. So yeah, I think it means something that yeah, Barbie can have this amount of success. And I hear that Hollywood is really buzzing because they've not had this great weekend. I mean, like last
Yeah,
weekend,
it's
as much as like since Christopher Nolan's film actually. No, actually no, since Marvel since Endgame. So it
yeah.
means yeah that you know what, maybe just maybe the cinema tradition is back in Hollywood, but we'll see, we'll see.
All right then. So going to which other one did I say I was going to ask you about?
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
Oh, no, of course. Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors. I wasn't very happy with, I think, his last one, Tenet. You know,
Oh, really?
but
Why?
yeah, I felt it was too complicated. You know, and I didn't think it was worth it trying to figure out what exactly he was saying. But with this film, I think he's gone back to well, it's still complicated, but not as complicated as it was with Tenet. So yeah, I really like this film. And again, you know, someone like me who has I don't know 6 7 years of elementary physics and was not bad at it. Actually, I was very good at it. Just to see a bunch of these guys discussing what they taught us back in the 90s. So for people like anybody who did physics here would remember someone like Niels Bohr, who has like something. If you did physics at all, you know that name.
No.
So he's in the movie as.
I did physics and I don't remember.
Oh well, if you do physics on a certain level. If you were one of those brilliant kids in school doing physics, yes, you remember these people. So there's Niels Bohr, there's Heisenberg, there's something
I
called
know
Heisenberg,
Heisenberg, yeah, principle, yes.
exactly. So all of these people kind of show up in the movie. So just hearing these names and like seeing these guys,
Come
of course,
to
not,
life,
it's
yeah.
not it's not them, of course, it's
Yeah,
like actors
I know
playing
what
them.
you mean.
But it just feels like you know what, I was back in secondary school, like just having my teacher like talk about these people and what they did, which of course for me always brings me back to Nigeria. And I was like, look at how somebody's talking about the world they have created, and none of them is in Nigeria. I feel really, really bad about that. That's sad.
Right, I know. But just before we move away from Barbieheimer, which is now the
Barbieheimer,
name
exactly,
on
as in-
social media,
Indeed.
some quick statistics and how much of a success it is. It is the first time, like Ori said, that one movie opened to more than $100 million and then another opened to more than $80 million and the same weekend, which makes it the biggest weekend in like a long time, if not since forever. And then talking about how much it grossed, you have about 528.6 million dollars for Barbie, and then you've got about where is it again now? I can't seem to find the number for Oppenheimer. But yes, so it took in 82.4 millions from about 3,610 theaters in the US and Canada. And like Ori said, it is like the biggest non-Batman debut for Christopher Nolan. Quite a success.
Yeah,
and
big,
we
big,
mentioned that the budget was about $150 million for together with the marketing for Barbie. So
yeah.
for now, it is officially a success
It is.
because it has doubled, even tripled, I believe.
Almost tripled.
Almost tripled its
budget.
the
Production
budget. It has tripled. 150 times 3.
That's 450.
Yeah,
to
it has
quadruple.
tripled.
It has to really quadruple for them to really make money. For the
Aha,
producers to
now
make
that
money.
is the producer, director,
Exactly.
and writer speaking. All right, so what's your take on it?
If you think if your percentage maybe around that kind of, I don't know, less than 35%.
That's for producers in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You know?
to kind of
So at the
break even,
time-
they have to be triple it.
Yeah,
To
you have
break
to
even.
quadruple it actually.
No. To break
to
even.
break even,
To
yeah.
break even, you
But
have to
to
triple it.
earn money,
To earn some decent money, yes. It's
you
4
have to
times.
quadruple it.
Now that you have mentioned, this is something we have always wanted to have. How is
What is the math? What is the math? Mathematics behind filmmaking, right?
yeah, in Nollywood especially. Before I go into that, I'll say something about Orisha. So it was said that Orisha, the movie by Odunlade Adekola, who is doing really great, by the way. I believe that man is putting blood, sweat, brain cells, and everything he's got into making his movies. It could be better, but of course he's doing a lot. He said that it is the highest grossing opening film in Nollywood and one of the grandest, if not the grandest epic opening of 2023. That's according to Film One, and I believe it's about close to 30 million naira. Close to 30 million naira. How much it raked in,
Okay, that's in
at the cinema.
first week or
Opening
first 3
weekend.
days.
No,
opening
so
week.
far, so far.
So far.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not good so far. Okay. That's
Or
like,
maybe
when did it show up in the cinemas? Last week? 2 weeks
yeah,
ago?
that was last week.
Last week.
That was last week.
I
So
think Funke did bigger than that. I think Funke did bigger than that.
you remember they were talking about epic movie, the category.
No,
I
you
said
also
it's
said
the
epic in
grandest, yeah.
2023. I think it's just branding because that doesn't mean much for 2023. There hasn't been a lot of epic movies at the cinemas this year. So it's
All
not-
right, so now back to the question on how it has been making movies in Nollywood and breaking even. You are on the inside, you know how it is. Tell me about
1
it.
foot inside.
Oh,
Why
1
do-
foot.
why
okay.
do you- why do you
Where's
say
your other
that?
foot? Where's your other foot?
This is it's just asking for permission to
enter.
get in.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so I have been in the business for quite a while, and all my effort is to get right in. But I made the mistake of trying to be a critic at the same time a producer. It doesn't work. Oris is free to critique, but you can't be in the business and critique the business. You will be making some life enemies for yourself.
I think
So-
Oris does not mind that. He's probably done that already.
You're
I'm
right,
just
I
sorry,
don't
sorry
mind.
to interrupt you before you
It's
go
okay.
ahead. Now,
Yeah.
according to their post, it says that the biggest epic opening of 2023. I think it's a little bit ambiguous.
That's what I'm saying. That
yeah.
there have not been any big epics this year at the cinema, so it doesn't say much. That doesn't say much. But I like it because it's just branding. Just make it look like this is something.
So
really
specifically 27.6 million naira as at 4 days ago.
good. 4 days ago, so no, maybe not too bad.
It's not bad actually. All right, so you can go ahead.
Yeah. So the business of Nollywood filmmaking, you're talking about the arithmetic, how you make money from it, right? I think that we can make better. We can. The whole arithmetic is to ensure that there's an audience listening to Oris talk. There is an audience that wouldn't like to watch a Nigerian movie. You know
That is true. That is true.
But they prefer to watch Hollywood, not just anyhow Nollywood movie, but I mean Hollywood movie, but also well thought out Hollywood movies.
True.
If you can bring those people, okay, and bring those people who love Nigerian Nollywood movie and will never, hardly ever watch a Hollywood movie, and they will go to the cinema to watch any film just because their actors are on the film.
I knew from here.
All right, because a movie has popularity from the social media thing, they will go because they want to be a Me Too. Is that Me Too mentality? If you can do a movie that brings these two devices together, the story will be different.
So how does it work currently?
I would need you to hold on to that question
Okay.
because we need to quickly go on a break, and when we come back, we will get you to answer that question and also talk about how, you think Nollywood has fared before now and now before, I mean, many years back when we didn't have streaming platforms,
Yeah.
and now what streaming platforms has done to the art and the business of Nollywood and the way forward. If you're joining us for the first time, we are discussing movies, and this is Film Focus, 11 till 11:50 every Friday. That's what we do right here on Smooth 98.1. We'll be right back.
See, this is a better conversation than food.
I didn't realize you were using the third mic.
Aha! So that's why my energy has been whatever, right? So it's this one. What are you saying?
Stick to the microphone. It's just that I did not pull up your
So it
finger.
was always your fault.
It was your fault. You were
It's
supposed to
always your
use.
fault. There's no whatever now. Whenever I come here on Thursday, we use anyone and then the person just takes care of it. You did not take care of it. So your fault. You can proceed. Are you watching Big Brother by the way?
No.
What? No, why are you so snobby? Look at this and like you're too good for them. No.
I don't have the luxury of time to sit down and watch some people sleeping and
What is no
eating.
now? You have to watch all of those.
No.
As you said, like say man, everyone that watches this like, what's your name? Messi, do you watch Big Brother? Yeah, one of them. I was going to use you to.
One of them, how? How do you mean?
What? I was going to use. Oh, one of them. Saying that.
I'm not a fan of reality shows.
This is just not
You must be very
real.
critical.
We don't watch it, doesn't mean we are
You
snobbish.
must be very critical. Okay, sorry, I
It's
think
not
I'll
just
one more
our
question.
time. Our
Do
thing.
you like the idea of
HBB to get started?
chat GTP or whatever you call it? GPT. Do
We're
you like
probably
it?
back here.
So late.
Yeah.
My kind of music. Love music. Love life. Smooth 98.1.
Hello. Welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Smooth 98.1 and this is Film Focus 1128. You are listening to us talk about movie series and everything that can make you have a good time on your screen. My name is Oluwaseun. I have Oris in the studio and I've got our special guest Osezua. We are talking right now about Nollywood making movies, breaking even, and well, getting the foreign taste bud of some Nigerians to be reverted to homegrown, if that is it. So back to it, there was a question that Oris asked before the break. Do you want to ask it again? And then we'll move on.
So how do we do that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. Is to do a movie that is intellectually as well as emotionally stimulating. A movie that does not take the audiences for granted. Okay? And it's a movie that is global in nature.
Global and local.
Yes, it has to be global. And you must focus on the human angle of it. And of course, every story succeeds by focus on the human angle because we want to see ourselves in whatever is out there for us to buy it. So the human angle has to be there. Then in doing the human angle, the word global in this context being that you have to fit the technology and the art into the picture. So when you do that, you can get both devices into the picture.
As a producer, you are the person who is supposed to do this, right?
Of course.
So
not just you. This is the challenge.
Right.
Anybody that wants to do anything grand in Nigeria meets a very stern opposition. Because people
sounds like politics.
No, not politics. Yeah, well, people like certain ways of doing things. They have been formed
Yes,
in that way. When you want them to do it another way, there's a way they resist. They will not talk to you. They will just nod.
So body
They will
language.
look amongst themselves and say, "This one, what is this one? What does he think he is?" All this kind of thing. And you will be asking for X, Y, Z. They're giving you W, E, Y. So that's possible.
So personally, that's with you now, who has a film in the cinemas. Would you say that your film in the cinemas, which is coming out today, right? Or is it out today?
It's out today.
Okay, so Unforgivable, that's the title.
Yes.
Right? So does Unforgivable, does it manage to do these things you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
What Unforgivable does is that it tries to bring the two devices together. Why? Because we are doing, people like comedy in Nigeria, but I'm saying let's do comedy from a serious perspective. Imagine a story of rape. If you've seen the story of rape before, it's usually dark, it's usually moody, and it's usually from the one perspective. We are telling the story in a vibrant color.
That's a little shaky, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is very
That's
tricky.
shaky because
Good. In a vibrant,
Because-
wait, let me finish.
rape is already, it's dark by nature. So
Of
how are you going
course.
to make it?
Yeah, it's
vibrant?
contrast. That's contrast. You know, sometimes when you have a green background and you wear a green dress, you are lost in the background. But if you want to throw out yourself, you have to take a contrasting color. You can take white. Okay? So that's what we're doing. Now, the case goes to court. We have done the premiere.
Okay.
And you needed to see the reactions. The thing is, the matter goes to court.
That's okay. That's in your film.
Yes, in my film, the matter goes to court, and you are being tried for rape, and the case is serious. Everybody in the court is serious. But you that are watching the process, you are laughing.
Okay, I wonder. I really.
Anyway, we'll see it. We'll see
crossed,
it. I'll
yeah.
definitely see it. So
Fingers crossed on that one.
So let's let it go. But yeah, who are your actors? Who is in the film?
Okay, I have Nancy Seaman. Okay, the lady raped, who is the principal complainant. Then I have Timini Egbuson, whom you are going to see a completely different angle from. You're not going to see Timini who you've seen in any other film in Unforgivable. All right? In Unforgivable, Timini is intelligent. He is the bad boy.
I think
What do you?
No, hold
Wow.
on.
Timini fans, please respond.
No. I mean, I'm not saying his character.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Extremely intelligent. For example, he's taken to court.
No. Enough. Don't tell us. I feel like don't tell us. We understand
enough,
this.
yeah.
So it's already fine
Thank
with that.
you.
So, but who else? So just the two of them.
Two of them. Then we have Jude Aurora.
Oh, that's old Nollywood, if I remember correctly. From way back.
Yeah. So
Fuji
Jude
House
is
of
there.
Commotions.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Then you have Ijoma Richard on the bill.
Okay, all right
She's
then.
the judge.
I guess
And
we
then-
have enough, because I'm sure by the time you're done with all of this, everything you want to say, we already have a very clear picture of it. But yes, we understand, and hopefully, these expectations that you have set, we hope it meets it. All right.
What does this have to? I mean, earlier with the math you're talking about, the arithmetic of movie making here. What does this mean for budgetary purposes? If you have to split, what's it called, revenue? I think it's 3 ways in Hollywood currently. I think.
Okay, no, it's the same in Hollywood. You know, you have these theater owners, the editors, then you have the agents.
Okay.
The
And
distributors.
exactly, and then you have the producers, right?
You have the producer already.
I know that's what I'm saying. So those are like the three
it's
major
it's a tripartite arrangement.
So I'm saying now that if you were to discuss budget, for instance, how much multiple would you need to be able to break even with your movie currently?
As in budget of production?
Yes.
Oh,
And marketing, I guess. The kind of
honestly, I don't think it's about the amount you put in to produce that content, really. At some
It's about what then?
At some point, we were told, we were advised, okay, by experts in the industry far back 4 or 5 years ago, that if you really want to break even, don't spend more than 50 million on a cinema movie, right? But we have seen people spend up to 150 million.
But nobody talks about their budget, so how do you know?
You
that
know,
figure?
hold
Oh,
on,
yeah,
Oris.
we know.
We're going to come to that because
People-
that actually is a question. Sorry.
People talk about their budget outside the public
Okay, what do you
space.
mean? Okay, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
So
if you're in the space, you
yeah,
might.
so
True.
when somebody has put in 150 million, put
Yeah.
promotion and everything,
Budget together.
and the person is getting 500 million,
That's fine.
the person has gone far. Okay, and then also forget this: the way we make movies. Somebody can make 4, 5 movies in a year.
Okay. But not
Yeah.
everybody gets 500 million from
Now,
revenue.
what I mean is that people are not really. I don't know whether we are really interested in making big from what we do.
Yeah.
We are just saying, let's have volume.
Yes, let's have volume.
So volume takes care of you, it puts you out there. But then again, don't also forget that support is key.
Support.
Nollywood still hasn't got the support it requires.
From
who?
Investors.
Investors. Okay.
We don't have investors coming in. I'm talking about institutional investors.
Okay. So
Okay.
not private individuals.
How much can a private individual give for the kind of money? Somebody was
No, but you
saying.
just said somebody said that 50 million is the
Then I'm talking about
okay,
then.
Oh, okay.
About
scary.
pre-pandemic. Yeah, the
Pre-pandemic.
pandemic.
I see.
They advised it, and that was why you saw that BOI then, when they rolled out a Nolly fund,
Yeah.
they were not doing more than 50 million. They said your maximum cap is 50 million, and then you can get anything below 50 million.
Okay.
Because their understanding as at that time was that if you did
More than
beyond
that, you would
50,
not break
you will
even,
not be
but
able
you
to
would
pay
break
them
even.
back.
Okay.
But when somebody came and I said in the forum, then I was in the forum, I said a well-produced Nigerian film with good publicity can boom
Can do
600 million.
Okay, well.
And I was
sure.
I
I
was
have
played.
sorry to say.
But then we have 420 something million after that.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's
Wedding party. Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, with the current state of the naira,
Mhm.
do you think you can make an excellent, super duper with the great marketing? For instance, last week, Rabo and I talked about Barbie marketing. If it was too much, or it should be the standard where you go all out for it.
I'm not in Nigeria now.
Yeah, I'm just
Why
saying
can't you
it's
do it in Nigeria?
possible. You can go
It's a
all
lot
out.
of money, man.
So exactly where I'm coming
We do
to with
that
the
in
question.
soaps. We use that to sell soaps.
Do you think 50 million naira in today's currency can get you an excellent movie and break in about 600 million naira?
This thing is technique. It's not just about the money you put in. It's not just about the money you put in, you know. You have to have that story that pulls with the people and get the right interpretation, not get actors, get performance, role as humans.
How do you get them?
Good, they are there. I have always said this, and I'm saying it again, that Nollywood's problem is not with the actors. We have them. We need people like us, directors and producers, need to take our head out of the box and begin to revision these people. They are even tired. If you actually talk to an actor, they will tell you they are tired of these, you know, soft. Look how you mentioned about Odunlade right now. He's, in as much as you might not say, I don't know what to call it, but the guy is doing something different. He's stretching it.
Sorry, let me interrupt you. Now, for instance, if today you watch a movie, maybe at the cinema or on a streaming platform, a Nollywood movie, and it is, I wouldn't want to say distasteful, but mid, you know, a little bit uneventful or just not meeting up with expectations. Yeah. Who should be held responsible?
Oh, I think two people.
Okay.
The director and the producer. Sometimes the producers can also, you know, sabotage their own projects. You know, I know a director who was not allowed to have his own cut on a movie because they felt that his clout was too much. Because actors were getting angry on set and leaving, but he would go back and get them back. And they were telling him, we are doing this because of you. And the people around the producer were not happy. They felt that this guy was becoming too much powerful. So they barred him, and guess what happened? The movie didn't make it to the cinema. And he kept begging, let me go and cut this movie. I know what I have done, because he redrafted the script. But they didn't understand the concept that he had in mind. So some producers can actually sabotage their own content because of ego. This business is driven by, I don't know, I don't think it's driven by ego, but there are so many egotistic people in it.
The business,
but if you drop your ego and make the deck, okay, the supreme platform, I think we'll go far.
Okay, so which one do you think will do Nollywood more good? Streaming platforms, theater, or cinemas?
Streaming platform is giving us the run for quality.
You sure about that?
Oh, yes. For example, I don't know if you are permitted to mention some platform. On air account, good. There are two platforms, for example, the two biggest platforms, including another TV platform like that. There has to be certain standard. If you don't meet it, you're not going there.
But
in terms of sound and everything,
Oris,
I know what you are saying. I know where you are going to. Nigeria is a very peculiar country.
That is true.
Because we've watched a number of movies that definitely shouldn't. They are the best description of mediocre.
Good. Sorry about that. I wish I could say that I dare not, because I don't have that luxury, because I'm a in player. But you see, Nigeria is peculiar because I saw the way these streaming platforms that are international perform outside Nigeria, the way they act outside Nigeria. When they go to Nigeria, is different. For example, there are some platforms you don't know who is their agent.
That's in Nigeria, right?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a problem?
For example, if you had a great idea, to whom do you take it?
I guess the distributors. Isn't that how it works here?
Yeah, who are the distributors for these platforms?
Well, certainly One of Film House is one of them.
Okay.
Blue Photos.
And now you're going to get an invoice.
Yes, I think he should get an invoice. 5 naira per talk. So anyway, what I'm saying is there are many people out there with great ideas. I'm telling you, they are being shut out of the industry.
Okay, so because of the lack of the obscure information, it means that they cannot get access to these.
They cannot have access. And before you go and make a pitch for investors, there are two types of investors. You have those who are coming in as equity participants or loan participants, but they are going to get something financial from it. There are other investors who are not going to get money from it, but are going to get a mileage for their brands.
Okay.
So to talk to those people, you need to give them figures. How do you get the figures when you don't have access to the main people?
You know, this that you mentioned is one of the things we've talked about, how it looks like transparency is a bit far from Nollywood. You don't know the budget, you don't know the box office numbers, you are debating if it is true or not. it could be better. But right now we'll go on a break, and when we come back, well, maybe we will take a break from the hot debate. It feels like we've been wanting to ask some questions, and when we finally get hold of you, you're the one on the hot seat. But yeah,
No, but he's happy to be on the hot seat, I see.
I guess. Yes. We'll go on a break, and when we come back, we will be talking about the movies that will be out much later in the year, if you should go to see them or not, and then what you should be watching this weekend. You're listening to Film Focus right here on Smooth 98.1.
You were a critic. Where did you critic?
Stay tuned.
Oh, you mean just like among
2013, 2014, I was using my platform. Any movie that came out, I watched. For instance,
Guy, I'm in front of your house.
half of a Yellow Sun
terrible film? Yeah.
had the best publicity ever. No movie has come close.
They had great budget at least. I don't know about the publicity, but I hear you.
Oh, but publicity was, I even participated, I was selling, because then that was the first time perhaps that institutional investors brought money to a film.
Yeah.
And
I
I
remember
was,
clearly, and it was a shame that it did not do well.
I was rooting for it to succeed because I felt if it failed, it will affect me.
What was your role at the time?
I was a producer. I was trying to get money for my project. Then I bought, now this is not a joke, I bought more than 20 tickets.
Really?
120 tickets for people to go see the movie. I just wanted them to, because my understanding was that for that first week, the people went to see the movie and they liked it, they will broadcast it. But guess what? If you went to the cinema, they would tell you that the cinema hall was fully booked. Alright? But if you found your way in, yes, because people had bought the show. But when they heard the news that the movie was not worth it, they didn't bother to show. And the people could not give out the seats. That's what happened. And what they are doing in Hollywood is that they ensure that they put in so much publicity for the first 2
Studio,
weeks.
we're coming back.
Love music. Love life.
Nobody does it better.
Time went by real fast. Can you believe it? It's 43 minutes past 11 o'clock. Wow. Now 44 minutes. Before you know it, it will be 11:50 and we'll have to say bye. Or we're going to make use of the 6 minutes left. Well, we are talking movies on Film Focus on Smooth 98.1. My name is Oluwaseun. I've got Oris in the studio with me, and I've got a film producer and writer in the studio as well, director, and his name is Osezwa Elimi, right?
Thank you. Oh, says we're not all, but that's okay.
Osezwa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we've talked a lot about Nollywood. We wish we could continue, but we don't have so much time. Let's go to judging the movie trailers, or rather the movies by their trailers that will be out later in the year. You've got The Meg coming out, I believe, next week. Meg 2, yes. You've got the likes of some movies coming out in September and some as far back as November, specifically the Marvels. So, which one of them have you seen, Oris?
I've seen the trailer for the Meg. But I mean, I feel like the Meg is the Meg.
The Meg is the
If there
Meg.
is a what's his face, Jason Statham movie, you know exactly
How it will turn
what
out.
you will get. So whether it's for good, whether it's for bad, I'm not a big fan of Statham. I liked him in
Why?
the beginning. When he did, there's a film he did. I mean, his earliest film, actually his breakout film with Guy Ritchie called Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, 98 or 99. I loved that film. But since then, he's become like more of an action star than anything else. And I'm not a big fan of. My father is a big fan of action films. I'm not. So I'm just like, please.
Well, for some, that you know,
I saw the
Jason
first they make, by the way, and I was just like, okay, here we go again. So yeah, I feel like we're going to get a lot more of this.
Megalodon. Okay, well, that will be out 4th of August. Now, coming back home where we should actually have started, have you seen the trailer of Jagun Jagun?
I think everybody has seen it by now. It has such a big buzz. That's the Odunlade film, isn't it? Oh no, it's Femi Adebayo. So
Adebayo,
it's
the
Femi
Adebayos,
and
not just
Adebayo
Femi, the
Tijani.
Adebayos family, the Adebayo family. You've
Okay.
got the
Adebayo
father
Tijani,
there,
right? And
Yeah.
Femi Adebayo.
Mhm.
One directing, the other one acting. And
Yeah.
producing. Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
brothers,
I saw
and the father.
I saw the trailer and it looked impressive, you know. But I know I'm a little bit. Nollywood has taught me lessons over the years that you cannot really judge a film by its trailer. What happens is if the film is about 2 hours or like maybe 90 minutes, and the trailer is about 2 minutes or 3 minutes max, that the entire film I just have those exact amount of. So 3 minutes compared to 90 minutes is too much. So they've given you all of the good parts already in the trailer. So when you watch the surrounding film, you might. This has happened to me many. I can mention directors who have done this exact thing to me. But so I hope it's good because I'm sure what's happening here is people are cashing in on the success of King of Thieves from last year, 2 years ago. And they're trying to see if it's possible to like follow that same tradition, like something that's super epic, super in an indigenous language. You have popular actors acting in a way they haven't before. I'm trying to see if that's something that can be developed further. So if this works out well, it means that Nollywood will feel like there is something to be said for like epic movies that have violent fight scenes. Something about that. So I think for them, I hope it works out for them. I've never been a big fan of films like that, although I would admit that I really liked King of Thieves rather. So I hope this works out, to be honest, just because it's good for the industry.
Well, taking you back to the part where you said you can't judge a movie by its trailer, that is an irony because that exactly is the title of the segment. Judge the movie by its trailer. So
yeah, I'll do my best, but I'm just saying that, I don't expect much in my heart.
But I have a question for you and for Osezua. Now, you've had a number of movies, epic, like the one you mentioned. You've had King of Thieves, you've had Anila, you've had Anikulapo, you've had Eleshioba, yes. And you've now had Orisha, and now you're going to have... we're going to have Jagun Jagun. Do you think Nollywood, especially Yoruba Nollywood to an extent, do you think they are doing well with the rich storytelling of African history? You think they're really trying, or they could be better, or what needs to be done?
I mean, of the films you've mentioned, the best of them is, in my own view,
King of
Thieves. Yes, I even think the rest of them are poor movies. I won't lie. I don't think Anikulapo is very good. I don't think that what's the name of this film? The one on
which
the Mabudu produced one.
Eleshioba
exactly was a disappointment to me because I felt the scale was too small. B, bless his soul, didn't quite. I think he was too stranded. B is like a playwright originally, not a filmmaker. So I think there's still that thing. By the way, his owner did half of Oluwaseun back in the day, and it has the same flaw. But anyway, forget about that. So let me focus. Yeah. So anyway, King of Thieves was good. So I think yes, there's something to be said about the traditional stories from Nigeria, and I wish that we did a lot more with them. But there's one thing to like have the material. Is another thing for the execution to be up to the level of the material. I think that's where we're still struggling a bit.
All right, quickly, what's your take on what I mentioned? I mean, having those Nollywood try so hard to, do that storytelling, especially the epic movies that they have released in recent times. Yes.
I always cringe when I see epic stories, especially those ones that are well known by people, those ones that carry the culture. There was an epic story that was done for my culture. I felt very bad.
Which one is this?
Like again, I'm scared to be a critic now.
Okay.
I'm an Edo person. If you ever known any movie that was done about Edo culture,
since I'm free, I'm sure you're talking about
the monarchy. Okay, see, you mentioned something. You said scale.
I did.
You said scale, dimension. Because when you go back to critiques, Aristotle's Poetic and the rest of them, they're talking about something that has a dimension. The dimension is not just about the story content itself, but the treatment of the content and the space. The space. I feel that we need, for us to do, have you seen what they are doing in Hollywood about epics?
Of course we have.
So what needs to happen?
What needs to happen?
Budget has to go in, and people have to be serious. This is it. The idea of limiting our movies to just Nigeria alone is not helping. In as much as I know that Nigeria has the population to deliver the budget, to deliver the returns, yeah. Just do the right thing. But I'm saying scale has to be upped. You can't do a story about Benin Kingdom, for example, and you are doing one bush part and everything. It's annoying.
Let me interrupt you. What was your take on the Woman King?
The Woman King is an idea of using dimension in space. For me, it was a good film. I shed tears. See, when I watch movies, if I am not touched to the point of shedding tears, then I have not done it.
Whoa.
Because there is something human that goes into this story. That emotion, that reaching people in and out, turning them in and out is key. Look at the sheer massive art direction. That movie was done by art direction, not much more than that. So we have to invest more money in art direction. Build set that respect Africa. Don't let them feel that Africans were living in thatched. Come on, we were far, far, far beyond thatched. It's only villages that had that. City of Benin had story buildings, for goodness sake.
Okay.
The man is really unhappy with,
yes, we get
with the treatment of like epic movies.
Thank you. So if it has to be done at all, it has to be done well. Point noted, and hopefully the ones that make these decisions and put the money down.
It's one of them, by the way. Let's not forget, it's one of them.
Yeah.
He's the producer.
Listen, people have asked me to do epic. We have so many of them. I have written a couple, but I dare not face them with the budget I have. If you want me to do an epic,
bring the money.
Give me 1 billion naira.
Okay, no.
Shuddering.
No, well.
Okay,
What do you mean? Do you want me to build a city?
We're out of time.
We're out of time, exactly. We'll talk about this off air.
Okay, quite an intense show if you agree with me, but thank you so much for your fiery takes, Osezua, and thank you for yours as well, Oris. Both of you definitely did not leave any money on the table. Thank you. And next
but
week,
how do we see your film?
It's in the cinema right now.
Okay, so
I will share the thing with you.
No, share it on air. I mean, the people should know.
well, you are going to have he already mentioned it. He already mentioned it in the course of the conversation.
Invoice 5 naira per nation. 5 naira.
Thank you. We're so out of time, unfortunately. We can't even take quickly recommendations of what to watch this weekend.
Yes, you should see Nollywood. You should see it's a very low budget, super low budget, but you should see it. It's called the L Plus.
Even the name sounds low budget.
It's very low budget, but it's really it's intelligent.
One Hollywood.
One Hollywood. See any of the Oppenheimer, please.
Okay, then Osezua, your recommendation. What should you see this weekend? Nollywood or Hollywood?
Are you looking for my trouble?
No.
Go and see Unforgivable.
Okay, I'm going to turn off the microphone right now. We are done. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Next week, catch you on Film Focus on Smooth 98.1.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's true. Exactly. You should go and see Unforgivable, please. Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm going to see it. Because I like